Hi there. Thank you for joining me here today on another episode of Feel Good Business. I'm Shikah and I love sharing mindful and intentional tips so that you can lead your business in a more intentional way and feel good about it and feel happy and contented running your business with less burnout and less stress. So that's quite a mouthful of an introduction there, but that's what I love to do and that's what my podcast is usually about. And in today's episode, I want to share how you can lay the grounds to be a more mindful business owner if you don't know where to start. So let's say you want to be more intentional, you want to slow down in your business a little bit, feel less stressed out, but you don't know where to start. And I think having a gratitude practice is one of the most basic things that you can do to lead a more intentional and a more mindful lifestyle. So I'm reminded of this story when I was working as a counselor back in the day, many years back, and I was talking to my colleague, and she shared with me that she's more senior than me, probably 20 years older than me. So she shared with me at that time that practiced she has this gratitude practice where she and her family members will sit down and share three things that they are grateful for every day. And I was in my 20s at that time, and I thought that I wasn't able to relate to that. I wasn't sure how that is going to be helpful for me. I wasn't sure how that is going to be useful in any way in my life. I was in a hustling mode. I was in my 20s. I was in a hustling mode. I didn't think that that practice has any use at all or relevance to me at all at that age. But as the years have passed, I understand the relevance and the importance of being grateful for where you are because we are constantly bombarded with messages on all sorts of platforms about how we should be living our lives, how what we should be buying. You should be buying this branded stuff or that branded stuff. You should be doing this or doing that. You can be easily influenced by all these external voices in a way that we can lose sight of our authentic self. And that's why I would like to start introducing how we can start a gratitude practice so that we can stay grounded and remind ourselves that sometimes just the basics is enough in our life. Sometimes the basics are the ones that make us feel contented and happy, and they're enough. So this is how we can start a gratitude practice when we are busy, or if you if you just if you just want to take a more mindful step towards your business. So let me just share 3 steps with you. Okay, I usually uh, record my podcast episodes and my YouTube episodes in a live fashion, so you'll hear me stuttering, or I do not edit my episodes, so this is as raw as you can get. Okay, so just bear with me. I apologize if it's not as smooth as you would expect it to be, but this is how I thrive. Anyway, so moving on, let's talk about the first thing that you can do to set a gratitude practice for yourself. So the first thing you can do is to ask yourself a couple of questions. And the first question you can ask yourself is, what would someone, a stranger, if a stranger, sorry, if a stranger is in my shoes right now, what would he or she notice? What are the blessings that he or she would notice in my life? So let's rephrase that. So if a stranger is in my shoes right now, what are the small and big blessings that he or she will notice in my life? So this can be anything. Maybe that person will be grateful that you don't have any financial pressures, or maybe that person will point out that you are someone who doesn't feel the pressure of having to work a traditional 9 to 6 job, or maybe the person will point out that you are very lucky because you get to do meaningful work every day, or you get to be creative every day and earn money from it. There are many ways that other people can pinpoint the little blessings that we have that we tend to overlook or take for granted. And if you find this visualization a little bit difficult for you, you can visualize a friend. Let's imagine my friend A is in my shoes right now. What would my friend notice about my life, which are blessings? You can also rephrase the question that way. Imagine that your friend is in your shoes. What will your friend notice about your life, which are blessings? We just tend to take some things for granted. And that is normal. That is human nature. It happens to the best of us. So this practice will ground us and remind us that we are probably more blessed than we think we are. And if you want to intensify this practice a little bit further, what you can do is ask yourself this question. If a person from a poverty-stricken background is in my shoes right now, what would they notice about the blessings in my life? So that's when your answers will be more basic. For example, that person will be grateful that they have access to hot showers in the morning, or you have the freedom to eat and drink whatever you want, or maybe you have a very comfortable and safe place to live in. So your answers are going to be more basic if you ask this version of that question. And for me, if I'm really burnt out or really stressed out, I think the second version works much better. It really grounds me to the point where I realize that I have so many things to be grateful about, but because I'm so myopic about my issues, about my usually I'm stressed out about business related issues. So I'm so myopic about my issues that I tend to overlook, and everything else, all the other blessings that I have are blurred in the background. So these questions will bring me back, will make me more present and realize that I am blessed. It's just that I tend to overlook and take them for granted. So these are the questions that you can ask yourself if you want to start a gratitude practice and just be more mindful in your life. I hope this question is helpful for you, because I have a couple more steps that I can share with you to lay the grounds on how we can live more mindfully. All right, so the second thing that you can do to live more mindfully and lead your business more mindfully is to do what I call a gratitude habit stacking. So, starting a new habit is not always an easy thing to do, especially it's very hard to stay consistent. It's very hard to stick to a habit. So what we are going to do is we are going to tag this new habit to an existing habit that you have. So for example, if you're someone who does your facial routines in the morning, so you can say, well, every time I do my facial routine in the morning, I'm going to think of a few things I'm grateful for today. And the grateful things that you're grateful for can be really, really basic, such as I'm very thankful for the beautiful weather outside. It's summer and the weather is so beautiful outside. So that can be something that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be something dramatic, something big, something dramatic, like I said. It can be something just as basic as that and as simple as that. Anything that genuinely, the keyword here is genuinely makes you feel expansive, contented, and grateful. The word here is genuine. So yeah. So yes, so gratitude stacking is one way for you to start this new gratitude habit. If you're someone who wants to make this habit more frequent every day, what you can do is say something like this. Every time I wash my hands, I will say or think of something I'm grateful about. So probably you'll be thinking of 10 things you're grateful about every day if you pick this as the anchoring habit. So every time you wash your hands, you can think of one thing that you're grateful for every day. That is one way for you to do this as well. And this will be very helpful because, as we know, it's very hard to stick to a habit. It's very hard to start a new habit. So just tag on an existing habit that you have, and I hope that it will help you make this more sustainable, make this gratitude habit more sustainable. Okay, so the third step that you can do, the third thing, that you can do to set the grounds for a more mindful lifestyle is to do what I call a 3-question night reflection activity. Okay, quite a mouthful there. Okay, so a 3-question night reflection activity. So before you go to bed at night, you're going to ask yourself 3 basic questions. Number 1, what is just one thing which makes me feel contented and grateful today? Who is one person who makes me feel grateful today? And another question is, what is one small lesson I've learned today? Just 3 questions before you go to bed. You can choose to write this down. You can, if you have a digital planner like I do, you can choose to type down your answers. Or you can just do it mentally if you are too busy for all of that. So you can just think of one event that makes you happy that day. It can be something as simple as, well, I got to spend time outdoors with my loved ones today. So that can be, if that truly brings contentment for you, then that can be one answer to the question. The second question you can ask yourself is, who is this one person who made my day today? That can be, well, it can be a partner, it can be a friend, it can be a spouse, it can be a family member, anyone, or it can be a stranger even. For example, someone complimented me on my outfit today. So maybe that made your day. That can be your answer to that question. The third question you can ask yourself is, what is one small thing that I've learned today? So, for example, recently I realized that if I'm more relaxed when I'm running my business, I'm more creative and I feel more expansive in my business. So being relaxed actually helps me a lot. So that is one lesson that I learned recently. And your lessons can be much smaller and simpler than that. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be something like, I realized that trying something new today can make me feel more alive and more energized. That can also be your answer to this third question. So these are the three questions you can ask yourself before you go to bed at night. You can write it down, type it down, do it mentally, whatever works for you. So I have shared three strategies for you to lay the grounds on how you can start being more grateful and lead a more intentional and mindful business. One of the reasons which I feel motivated to create this episode is because we are always bombarded with messages from business gurus. We should be chasing 6-figure, 7-figure businesses, and that is great. If that is where you are at right now, maybe this episode is not for you. Maybe you should go and sign up for Maria Cor's programs, for example, because she focuses on that kind of level of achievement. But if you're someone who is okay with just, if you're at the stage in your life where you're okay with being where you are, you're okay with earning some money while being creative, or you're okay with earning a full-time income whilst being creative and being able to express yourself, and maybe this podcast episode, maybe my podcast channel is more suitable for you. So anyway, that's all I'm sharing today, and I recorded this in a live fashion, so it's raw. There'll be many edits that need to be done, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. I am trying not to be a perfectionist when it comes to my episodes. And if you're someone who is a visual person and you want to view a video version of this episode, you can go to the YouTube link in my description box. And that's all I'm sharing today. Thank you.